2022, Big Pharma profited over $1.4 trillion. And the food industry is a joke. The Western American diet is the true root cause to all types of diseases and the number one cardiovascular heart diseases. Okay, so in this video, in this YouTube video, I'm going to break down what are the things to negatively stay away from on a nutritional standpoint, and what are the things to add into your diet? What are the things that you can eat to help you prolong your health, prolong your goals, and get you feeling your absolute best? And so, nutrition is at the core of it all. And so, what you eat and how much you eat drastically determines the quality of your health. And so this is getting neglected. Hypothyroidism, autoimmune, IBS, IBD, hormonal imbalances, all these things. A lot of it stems from the food that you put in your body. Okay, of course, the lifestyle you live and all that, but number one is the diet. So in this YouTube video, I'm going to break down how you should be eating, for you to remain your optimal best, and to get you on the right track to complete vitality. So so obviously, let's start out with things that there are many goals for a diet. There's medicinal goals like lower blood sugar, fix the microbiome, reduce inflammation, things like that. And then there's aesthetic and performance goals. Okay, helping you lose fat, gain muscle, and anything like that. And so, like in this video today, I'm not going to talk about like nutrition on a standpoint of you know um, macros, caloric deficits, surpluses, and all of that. That would be for another episode. In this episode, I really just want to talk and hone in on things that you should stay away from in a nutritional standpoint, and the things that could be the root cause to why you're not feeling well. Now, taking it as a functional approach meaning all your systems, all your body systems working together to create functions, and those functions are how you feel. But when you are, eating a lot of, inflammatory foods, fake foods, and the SAD diet, standard American diet, all these things drive up all those things. Poor gut microbiome health, more inflammation, joint pain, acne, a hormonal imbalance, all these things. So let's start to get into it now. So what we're going to talk about first is food toxins. Okay. So there are food toxins in everything that you see on your shelves today. Food toxins are pretty much the main contribution to disease in America right now. Inflammation, blood sugar imbalance, insulin resistance, and even oxidative stress. Now, I want you to this. Don't get. I'm not trying to get sidetracked, but the main drivers to the chronic health conditions we face today is chronic stress, chronic inflammation, something called a catabolic state, okay, and then insulin resistance. Those are like the four main drivers, okay? Insulin resistance can drive PCOS, hormonal imbalance, low testosterone, cycle, irregularization, secondary amenorrhea. The catabolic physiology, catabolic damage, meaning that you can't lose weight anymore, weight loss resistance, thyroid decline, HPA dysfunction, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal dysfunction. Okay, chronic stress, same with thyroid, hormonal imbalance, progesterone steal. Now you have estrogen dominance. Okay, and then chronic inflammation. That should be a no-brainer. But gut issues, hormone issues, thyroid issues, all these things, weight loss, overweight, all these things causing from overabundance of these four things. Now, let's talk about the four food toxins that we need to blame, okay, but not really blame, but the true root of what's going on. So we have cereal grains, omega-6 seed oils, industrial seed oils, soybean, canola, palm, cottonseed, okay, sugar, mainly high fructose corn syrup, but other sugar as well, which we'd get into all these topics, and then processed soy. Cereal grains, omega-6 seed oils, sugar, and processed soy. Okay, so let's talk about cereal grains first. And I'm just going to break down with the topic of cereal grains. I want to talk about the protein called gluten. Okay, so gluten The gluten has so many different effects on the body, but majority of Americans, majority of people are actually gluten intolerant, even if they don't have celiac disease. So if you're familiar with celiac, it's an autoimmune condition where you're just pretty much dealing with gluten intolerance, gluten sensitivity, gluten allergen. So, which then eating gluten as when you're having celiac pretty much just exacerbates your symptoms, leaving you with extreme reactions and consequences. But majority of actually people are actually gluten intolerant without even knowing it. Around 60%. And in the doctor's office, they're not talking about this. They're not talking about for you to eliminate gluten or to eliminate seed oils or to eliminate processed soy. They're telling you to take this medication, okay, to help your issue, and without even looking at the diet that you're ingesting, you're eating, because all those things contribute to why you don't feel well and why you're not liking the way that you look, even. So, first we're going about cereal grains, gluten. So gluten damages the gut lining, okay, which is, in my other gut videos, I talk about the gut lining, and it's kind of like the protection between the inner layer and the outer layer of your microbiome. And, having that, contributes to conditions like obesity, diabetes, and even autoimmune. So cereal grains, just the gluten, it's just not there. Okay. I'm not saying for you to forever eliminate gluten, but I mean, if I were you and you were struggling with health issues, I would eliminate gluten for just a period of time, reintroduce it, and then see how it is. Okay. Next is seed oils. So seed oils cause so many issues. And this could be a whole topic in itself, but we're talking about seed oils causing metabolic health. But let's talk about seed oils in an actual way that you can understand and digest it. So seed oils are essentially like the oils that you would put for cooking. It's in all restaurants. It's in all fast food. It's in anything that you're going to go out and get that's packaged up, essentially, respectively. But seed oils in the store are like, when you're looking at the oil section, and um, it's like you're looking at it and it says, cottonseed oil, canola oil is a big one, palm oil. Okay, these oils, the way that they're manufactured, they're processed and heated, it gives you, gives it the negative effects, okay, of it, driving the inflammation and the metabolic diseases and the Crohn's and the IBS and all of it. Okay, so I understand this because, I mean, like on some real stuff, like just when I was working at, a local, grocer, I would see, the people that would grab the seed oils, and there'd be no, it wouldn't be surprising why they looked like they did. Okay, they looked miserable, and it was their diet. It had nothing to do with the diseases that they were facing. It was the diet. This is getting off topic. It's just emotional because this is what's happening to so many people. But going back, so in the uh, times before us, prolifical, whatever you want to say, like thousands, 10,000, hundreds of thousands of years ago, our diet was not filled with omega-6 seed oils. It was filled with omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, all types of fish. And so it only is to like the past 100 years that we have started manufacturing seed oils. And so we're at the point, so your body's supposed to have omega-3 and omega-6 ratio between the fatty acids. But when you are eating an abundance of seed oils, that omega-6 ratio is so much higher than the omega-3. And right now, as a country, as United States, we're at a 20-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. What does this mean for you, and what does that actually mean? It means that our body has so much inflammation from the seed oils we're eating, from the processed food that we're eating, that our fatty acid profile is just such an imbalance, which then causes pro-inflammatory diseases. And so, no matter what you're struggling with, this is something that I do. Like with my clients, for example, we do omega-3 fatty acid tests, because with the company that I am actually affiliated with, you get a free one with the order of fish oil. And so, we're checking this because this is such a main thing. We can look at blood testing, stool testing, urinary testing for Dutch hormone testing, but that's not gonna, that's gonna tell me so much. But this is also another really good marker, especially if this person's, healthier. And so this is really good. But let's get into the next one. So seed oils, yeah, stay away from seed oils. Canola oil is the biggest one that I can think of on top of my head. I know palm oil is in a ton of it. Kern oil, I believe. There's all these other oils, but just staying away from those. Okay, and then next is refined sugar. Uh, so this is a sensitive topic for many people because there's sugar, like we're talking about fruit, or no. Right now, I really want to hone in on high fructose corn syrup as the sugar that I want to talk about. We need to stay away from high fructose corn syrup, HFSC. And so, why do we need to stay away from this? Well, unlike glucose, like regular sugar that you would eat from fruit, which is rapidly absorbed in your bloodstream and taken up by cells, fructose specifically is shuttled directly to your liver where it is stored as fat. Okay? Because excess fructose consumption causes a condition called non alcoholic fatty liver disease. All right. So the excess consumption of redefined sugars, okay, promotes the growth of bad bacteria in the gut. It creates pro-inflammatory micro in the microbiome. That drives issues like SIBO, aka IBS labels. Okay, but even since 80% of our immune system's in the gut, it causes autoimmune conditions as well. Okay. Um, so we need to stay away from high fructose corn syrup. Now, this isn't a video where I'm saying stay away from this, stay away from this or no. You take your own. I honestly, I'm just trying to help, but you just take what you want and then do your own research and then come back. Next is I want to talk about artificial sweeteners. So you know, artificial sweeteners, that's a sensitive topic for many. Now, if you are drinking, all sorts of sugary drinks throughout the day and you just cut it to diet, that's 100% a lot better than what you were doing before. But if we can, when you get to that point of removing the artificial sweeteners from your diet, that would drastically, improve your microbiome health. Now, how so? Well, there's actually a study conducted by mice and humans, okay? And the study had the mice were drinking artificial sweeteners with water, and the other set of mice were eating artificial, were just eating water, just drinking water. And what they found was that the one group that was drinking the water and the artificial sweetener had more glucose intolerance than the group that just had water. So what does this mean for you? Well, they actually checked their stool, and what they found in their stool was a little bit of a microbiota shift, meaning the microbiome was different from the group that had the artificial sweeteners and the group that didn't have the artificial sweeteners. So, and there's a strong correlation between insulin resistance and gut bacteria overgrowth. And so, what that means is that artificial sweeteners change the microbiome, which then influences insulin production within the body, leading you to be insulin resistant or insulin intolerant. So this is a big deal here. So artificial sweeteners it's getting talked about the gut microbiome, but that also leads to poor gut microbiome from too much artificial consumption, sweetener consumption. Also can contribute to insulin resistance or insulin insensitivity. Okay, so we need to stay away from that. Next is food additives. Okay, so food additives are to enhance taste, appearance, and texture and shelf life, like cornstarch, soy lecithin, and things like that. So essentially, just food additives, we need to stay away from them because they drive all sorts of inflammation, neural inflammation, so many other diseases and issues. But I'll leave it at that for today for those. So, what should you actually be eating? What do you need to be doing to promote health, promote your goals, and to live a healthier and longer life? Well, we need to focus on something called a Mediterranean type diet. Now, I hate that there's names and stuff for this, but Mediterranean type diet meaning it's just the consumption of all things on the food spectrum. We're not actually eliminating anything. They are minimally saying to eat less red meat, which is fine if you want to do that. I'm an advocate for red meat or red anything that's actually meat. If it's pasture raised, organic, and things like that, because I feel like that's really good for you. It's like a multivitamin. But in heavy on the omega-3 foods, okay, salmon, all types of nuts and oils, okay, all into the diet. Now I make programs on a daily basis. I'm actually very good at it too because I'm helping individuals like just reach their top potential. But the way that I focus on the person's diet is that since they're following an exact diet meal plan, I make sure the omega-3 and the omega-6 ratio matches. Now you're probably saying, why would he even talk about omega-6s when he said that before? Well, omega-6s aren't actually bad. It's the seed oils that are bad. So what does that mean? Flaxseed, chia seed, okay, these are good oils because they're not manufactured like corn oil, canola oil, and things like that. Okay, so you want those sometimes in the diet to balance out the ratio. Saturated fats. Saturated fats are not bad. Okay, a little bit of saturated fat is really good for your hormones because it is a building block. Cholesterol is a building block to your hormones. Okay, okay, so let's get into it now. What should be in your diet? Vegetables, any types of vegetables. The different colors of the vegetables carry something called polyphenols and a lot of antioxidants in them to help you, eliminate inflammation, radical damage, and so much more. Animal proteins, different types of poultry, even, bison, venison, um, ground beef, things like this. All these things help with, just promoting, protein, lean muscle growth, thermoeffective foods, burning while eating, things like that. Healthy fats and oils. Now, I don't think a lot of people actually have oils in their diet, um, and or fiber to be exact. So people don't have fiber or oils. So I guarantee you, after you watch this video today, if you add more fiber and oils to your diet, you will see a dramatic difference. Now, the only thing I would say is that if you're struggling with like IBS, IBD, or anything like that, I would actually stay away from fiber and insoluble plants until you fix the gut lining, which you can do with me at CompleteVitalityLife.com. But so let's talk about fruit. So with fruit, it's like so on the Mediterranean side of things, they want to stick to a low glycemic index fruit like blueberries, any type of berries, um, I believe apples and things like that. So um, if you're a muscular male like me, I don't worry about glycemic index or load because I know that I'm going to use it for my training. But if you're someone who's on the go and things like that, and you're not really in the gym like that, um, and stuff like that, like that's okay. But I wouldn't really get too caught up on like glycemic index and glycemic you know uh, index and glycemic load. Unless you are diabetic, then I would 100% do that. But always listen to your doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm just here to coach you, help you, and give you and help you reach your complete vitality. Okay, and so next is food reactions. Food reactions, food intolerance, food sensitivity, and food allergen. Now, food intolerance is essentially your body just doesn't digest it really well, like lactose. Okay, most people like actually don't have an immunological response like you would with a sensitivity or allergen. They just like have digestive upset. So obviously, the body is not digesting the food properly. Now, actually, the reason why some of these people aren't actually digesting it correctly is because they don't have the right enzymes in them. Okay, so off the top of my head, people that are not digesting lactose correctly are actually lacking an enzyme called amylase, which is an enzyme that breaks down like dairy and fat. So that's just an example. So perhaps try digestive enzymes to help you with food intolerances. Food sensitivity. So food sensitivity means you have an immunological response after you eat the food, but it's not right away. It could be hours and could be days after. But over time, this can lead to many health issues. And just like I had a client, she was dealing with Hashimoto's, autoimmune condition, and also hypothyroidism, kind of play together a little bit. But we did a food sensitivity test, and she had a food sensitivity to gluten. Now I already eliminated gluten for her, but we just started. So before that, she was eating gluten all the time. Little did she know, little did even doctors and all the professionals knew that that was a main, a big driver in the reason why she was dealing with such bad flare-ups. So as we remove gluten, help the gut lining, clear the microbiota, support endocrine function, get stress under control, get proper nutrition in, she was able to put her autoimmune into remission and drop 15 pounds of excess body fat. So that was an incredible story I had with her. It's been amazing. Okay, but and then a food allergen is the immune response right away. Like you eat the nut, or like the nuts, peanuts, most people I know, and then they just blow up. They have so much reactions. They can't breathe. It's terrible. So those are the differences between those. Now, this is a quick overview today of nutrition, what to stay away from in your diet, what could you add into your diet, and things like that. Now, if you want a custom meal plan or you want custom coaching to get to the root cause of your health issues, get the body you want, build lean muscle tissue, and finally feel free and confident in the body that you own and have, then I want you to reach out to me or check out my other resources. Check out my newsletter, check out my website, check out my other YouTube videos, because I give out so much information. I try to, okay, I do a little bit of hard trainings on my YouTube to help you reach your complete vitality. Reach out today for help.